you and I have talked the last few weeks. We've known that Brooks has been in failing health, but you're never prepared to lose somebody with the impact of Brooks.
No. I don't think we're ever going to lose him.
You're right.
I mean, I'm not real good at this, but I looked at my phone. Now, they're honoring me for 60 years. He got here in 1955.
Yeah, and never left.
Yeah, I just talked to Boog, who came up to see him tomorrow. So, right before I got COVID, I went up to see Connie and Brooks and spent probably, I don't know, about an hour and a half with them. We would trade phone calls. I'd call him, and 2 weeks later he'd get back to me. But I got here when I was 19. Brooks got here when 1955. Yeah. So I think maybe he always knew what it's like to be in the big leagues at 19. And then I think when you get to the big leagues, you got to get here, you got to stay here, you got to figure out how to get better, and then you got to decide who you want to be like. And for all of us, who we knew him. He was the best. So, and just, the little things. Everywhere I'd go, I'd get a Brooks, there'd be an autograph ball, and Brooks's name would be on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to tell him, I said, how come you write so big? Because it was a big city. But everywhere I'd go, people would go, God, we all know he's a great player. He won 16 Gold Gloves, but we also know how special a person he was. And I think as a young player, you make a decision early in your life. Okay, who do I want to emulate? Who do I want to be like? And Brooks was that guy. And and then Connie, because I raised a family here. My daughters grew up here. My wife Susie. Connie was, she wasn't that much older, but she was so nice to him. And when I got in the Hall of Fame, a lot of times the younger wives aren't treated particularly well, but not by Connie Robinson. So they were a wonderful family. We all know Brooks was a great player, and like you said, you kind of know that maybe, with his health declining, that we wouldn't have him around. But just think about if we didn't.
Yeah. And I thought it was so great last year that Brooks went into the clubhouse and told this young team that was kind of ascending and how much he thought about them and what their future might be, right? You guys went through that as young players.
Well, we did. And, I played in 6 World Series and another 2 or 3 playoffs. And, Brooksy, we were talking on the last road trip about they were talking about celebrations, and the Orioles had one, just to know that they're going to get in the postseason. And then, and Boog would be able to tell you the celebration we had in Kansas City when we knew we, were going to the first World Series. And there's egg salad, and guys are throwing egg salad, and 3 years later there'd be a big mustard stain on your shirt, because we couldn't really afford to buy a lot of shirts back then. But those are the things, and again, going back, I guess for some reason they want to honor me for 60 years here.
And they should.
I'm just glad that this team, and I've said this many times, I think this is the best story in baseball this year. Yeah. And Atlanta's having a great year. There are a lot of teams that are playing well. But they're going to get to experience what Brooks and I did, and all the guys that played on these teams. So, again.
Thanks for being here. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. You're emotional.
But just
it hits us all hard.
I just think about everybody else too that had a chance to know and love Brooks. And Boog said, God, I love that man, and we all did.
Yes, we did.